Okay, this is the second part of the tutorial. We're actually taking the illustration file, the tracing into Photoshop and coloring. So I'm going to go back to Illustrator and show you a few different things I kind of corrected or cleaned up. So I've added some more texture lines to the hair, and definitely the one last step I do is like click on the different. These are the hair inside strokes. You can hold the shift key and maybe select the other line you want to. And if you want to make those just have more depth, instead of it creating the hair inside stroke, and just make those two lines the hair outline stroke. So then you just click up. It actually just adds more depth to it where you have like a two lines there. So maybe like maybe another line. So you just add it to so it makes them more thicker and then more thinner. So it creates more interest, more depth in there. Okay, that's all I did. So to start with, actually, what we're going to do is I'm going to actually click on, the selection tool. And I'm going to just now draw a window around everything that I created here. So if you actually just make sure and click on layers here, that all of these, you actually can click on the tracing here and make sure all these layers are, none of them are locked, which none of mine are locked. So that's good because they won't copy over, which we're going to do if they're locked. Then you click on this edit and copy. And we're going to do is to go back into Photoshop. And this is my example here, but what we're going to do is actually start a new file. Okay. And so we're actually going to use a print preset, and we're going to choose an A3. So you might need to actually go to view all presets here. And this is under print, and we're going to choose an A3 size. So that's the same size. It's going to be 300 pixels what you want. And we're going to name it as like maybe, oh boy, Lichtenstein. Yeah. Oh, maybe this is part two or something like that. There we go. And then we create that. Okay. So it's going to be a blank screen there. So we're going to actually now paste in that file. So paste in, then it has a smart object there. So if paste it in, what I'm going to do is actually, we know that the X, if it shows the X is actually linked right now. We're going to just bring it down a little bit lower. So we have room. We're actually going to make a little toggle above here. So we need to actually make room for it. So right about here, and you need to actually make sure the lines, like this line right here, has to actually come to the edge here because we're going to select that area. So right there, looks good. And then click OK. And we create this in really high resolution to make sure the clean lines come through. Okay. And the next thing we're going to do is just a new file because actually we're going to create the kind of like the dot pattern here. We're going to create that now. So there's a few little steps to it. We're going to create a new document here, just a new document. So again, it's the same thing, a print preset, and we're going to actually use the same A3. And you don't have to name anything, so you can click on create. But there's some steps we have to do, okay, on this one. So to start with, we're going to click on the color here. We want to change these colors. So the C, we're going to change it to 0. M, we're going to change to 0. And then Y, we're going to change to 0. But the K, we're going to change to 20. So it's just a nice gray color. And what we're going to do is actually click on the paint bucket and we're going to fill that in. So it's just a gray color. Now I actually want to click on image and mode and click on grayscale. So it makes it gray. And so we can discard. But now click on image mode and click a bitmap here. And so we want this to be 300. Output is 300 pixels per inch. We want it really high, so we have a high resolution. And this needs to be halftone screen. Okay. So you can click OK. This needs to be pixels per inch. Yeah. Then you click OK. And then it gives you some other halftone screen options. We need to make sure that frequency is 7. The angle needs to be 45, and the shape needs to be a round shape. And this is going to be lines per inch kind of thing. So you just leave it the way it is. And then click OK. And what it's going to do is actually create us a little dot pattern that we can use to actually create the skin pattern. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to select, all, and then we're going to go to edit and just cut here. Okay. And now we can actually close that image. So we don't need to save it. So we click no. Now we're back in the illustration. So we're going to create a new file and we just want to call it skin. Okay. So we're going to type in skin, hit enter, right? And then you want to actually just with the skin layer highlighted here, we're going to click edit and then paste. And it's going to have that paste there, that the dot matrix. But we want to take out the white areas. So we wouldn't actually need to click on the magic wand tool. I'm going to scroll in to just grab just the white areas. So I'm clicking on just the white areas right here. And then I click on the backspace key. And it's going to reveal kind of our little illustration. So now I can click on select and deselect. And what I do is scroll up for a little bit. And what I want to do is actually turn that off for a minute because I need to delete some parts. So click back on the Vector Smart Object name, and I'll zoom out so you can see everything. So I need to click on the Magic Wand tool again. So we're going to click on all the skin parts or other layers of skin. So I'm going to click on this, is grab the face, but I'm going to hold the Shift key and select all the different areas that are like our hand and or different things like that. So this is actually when it comes into play. This is why I actually had all the like the little black parts actually connecting because we're actually using this selection tool to select things. And hold the Shift key down. Let's grab the hand, and I can grab this, and then this, and make sure I have all of her hands selected. And then like I need to select her arm down there too. Yep. So I think that has everything selected now. Now I can turn on the skin layer and have that selected. What I do is actually select the inverse of that. And then I can just hit the backspace key and it deletes everything else but the skin because it's selected the inverse. And I can now to select deselect. Okay. And so I got a little dot pattern on her eyes. So I need to delete that. So I can just click on the eraser tool and I will zoom into those eyes here. I would actually make sure this is about like 50 or so and make sure the hardness is 0. It's going to be a lot easier to actually finish that if it's 0. And so we're just deleting out these little dots in her eyes. So it looks kind of weird with the dots in her eyes. So we're just taking those out. And now I will zoom in and zoom out and then zoom back into this other eye. So I just gotta delete the other eye or delete the dots in the eye there. Oh, zooms a little bit. Then I'm just going through and deleting it. Right there. All right. And now I can zoom out again. So the next thing I want to do is actually double click. This is left click. So double click on the skin area and it brings up the layer style box. So I'm going to click on the color overlay letters. If I click on just like for instance, if I just click on, if I double click here and I click on just the check mark here, it's not going to give me the right options. So I have to click on the words and then it gives me the right options. So I've already grabbed the pink here. You're actually going to click on that and find a pink, the pink skin color. And you can move the slider there to whatever you want. And like, so you grab the pink color, okay? And then you find a pink there, okay? So that's the pink I want there. So you make sure opacity at 100%, and then click OK. And that actually is, just like I said, overlaid that color onto those different little dots, okay? And now it's actually as simple as going to the Vector Smart Object, selecting the areas that you want to color in, and coloring them in, okay? So I'm going to click on maybe a new layer here. So then I'm going to maybe just like call it like hair. Then I'm going to go back to Vector Smart Objects. I'm going to use the Magic Wand tool. And I'm going to select, I'm going to zoom in so I can see it a little better. And so then quickly, I'm going to select all the different areas of the hair. So hair, here. So And hopefully I'm just going to quickly. Uh, all right. Didn't take too long, but anyway. So now actually going to grab just the hair. Right here. So now, so you select the areas in the vector smart object, but then you go back to hair to fill the color that in. So double click on the color here, and the hair color I want to actually use is maybe a yellow here. So click OK, and then we're going to just use the paint bucket to fill that in. Okay, and if I'm not totally happy with the color, I can actually just, with that still selected, and then like maybe change the color to like, and it's the new color. So maybe I want to make that a little darker there. Yeah. So then it's actually going to call it in. So I need to click on those to call it in. And that's not really changing it too much, but still, that's the colors that I'm changing in. So you might have to go and change them all individual. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is actually click on the select and deselect here. So then I'm going to click back on the selector for object. And now I'm going to grab maybe here our shirt color, the shirt color. So I create um, a new layer here, and I'd call that maybe shirt. Yeah, it's fine. And then I click on the vector smart object to click on the magic wand tool, and I click on hold the shift key on. I click on this part of her shirt and this part of her shirt. Okay. Then this part I'm actually gonna click back on the shirt. So I'm gonna color and then with a different color. So this one I'm gonna use a green color. So I'm gonna actually choose a. I don't want to have like a maybe maybe like it's a green here. Yeah, that looks good. So choose okay, and then I'm just gonna color that in. So I'm gonna use a paint bucket here, and I'm gonna click on that to color it in. Okay, that's all it is. Now I'm gonna create a new layer, and this, oh, I'm sorry, deselect. So select and deselect. Now I'm gonna create a new layer, and maybe I'm gonna call it background. So, background. So I'm just going, just selecting all the areas and selecting all the areas with the magic wand tool, then coloring them in with on the different layers. So let's go to just click on the background here. Now I'm going to actually go to background and choose a background color. I want to use a kind of red color for a neck. It's kind of yeah, like a lighter red color kind of thing, a winey red color for the background. And then I just go to my background, on my paint bucket, sorry, and then click on the background. Okay, those colors in. Okay, and then sorry, then click select and deselect here. That's important. Now I'll click on new layer here, and let's say I want to actually use her collar. So I'm going to call yeah. So now I click on the vector smart object. So I'm going to click on just the areas of her collar. So I click on the magic wand tool. I'm going to zoom in to the collar there. So click on that, and it's important, like I talked about this black goes in there and actually it has no gap there. And then I click on maybe this area. I hold the shift key down to add to my selection. So then miss a little bar at the top here. Click on that. Now this part, I might have to select all these different areas. And then I just go to my color there. And this one I may make a lighter green. So I'm going to go to the green here. And I choose a lighter color green, maybe. Let's see. Oh, let's show you a different. I'm going to show you a trick here. So if I'm going to use this and it grabs that color green exactly that each of the shirt. Now, actually, I'm going to change that a little bit, and I'm going to make that a little again, a little lighter here. And it's going to show me like a little more seafoam green, I guess. Click OK. That's the color I want. Choose the paint bucket, and then I can fill that in. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't click on the layer. My bad. Clicking a color layer, then actually did colors in. Okay. And zoom out. Those colors actually really, well, yeah, that actually finishes it. So click on the select and deselect here. And this one, I just have two left, and so then I can click on a new layer. This one, I just want to color in the collar right here, or line or neck color. So I'm going to double click and call it the neck. Yep. So then I can go back to my vector smart objects and click on the magic wand tool, and that's going to be hold the shift key down, select those two areas there, and then click on the neck color. And I can do the same thing again. Click on the magic wand, the eyedropper tool. That's the color green I want. Now I can actually just make it just a little bit darker than that. So I made the color a little bit lighter, and maybe the neck color a little bit darker there. And then the magic wand, pen bucket here to color it in. So then select and deselect here. Okay, so we've got some different kind of like, you see some variations of the different color green. So, or sure, the last thing I need to do is actually create a new layer and call it mouth. Yeah, mouth. Then I go to my Vector Smart Object and I click on the Magic Wand tool, and I'm going to zoom in and hold the Shift key down again, click her lips, and click the inside of her mouth. And I'm going to actually click on her fingertips. I want to make her fingertips basically the same color, so they're going to be a red color. Like her mouth is going to be red, and then also her fingertips are going to be red. So now click on the mouth color, double click that, the color picker, and this one I'm going to just use a red. Okay? So nice, good red color. And click OK. And then I just go to the paint bucket and then fill that in. So I have all the different red colors filled in. Okay. Now I can zoom out and click on select and deselect. Okay. So that should actually finish it now. That should finish part 2. And if you want to click on File and click on Save As, and we call that this Road Lichtenstein Part 2. Okay. Then you click on Save. Okay. And that way you'll be ready to actually start part 3. Okay. That's actually, we were creating a little talk bubble and finishing up Illustrator. Thanks for watching.